beats.
Good morning, Believe Nation and Determination. Yesterday, we looked at you as being the CEO of your life, making decisions that will propel you towards your infinite mind wealth. Today, I want us to look at ourselves as player one in the ultimate game, the mind game. And how do we win the mind game? Because once we do, we can have anything we can ever dream of or desire. We have to realize we are a magnet. So you're in this game today and each and every day, you are a magnet. And you have the two greatest weapons. You have believe, you have determination. Those two things are weapons that you use to attract all positive things. So all positive thoughts. You do this over and over in the game, and eventually you will suffocate all the negative thought space that's in your mind and win the mind game. Have a great day, everybody.
Rise and shine!
It's espresso time!
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and successful people don't wake up every morning saying, yes, I'm ready for success today. But when you have a morning routine that inspires you, like watching one of these videos, it will change your life. So let's start your day off right together. Grab your coffee and get ready for a shot of espresso from Warren Buffett.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
How would you advise people who aren't necessarily going into a career field in which you would make a large base salary, such as like medicine or something like that, maybe performing arts or music? How would you advise us to keep up financially with the rest of the world?
Well, it is true that a market system does not pay as well in some activities as might seem appropriate for the importance of those activities to society. Just take teaching, for example. I mean, teaching does not pay well. And what could be more important? I mean, you've got to be as interested in who the teachers of your children are as who your accountant is, or whatever, or who's winning the heavyweight title of the world, or that sort of thing. But it doesn't pay well, and it's a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something. For many people, it'd be a fundamental choice whether you're going to go into something you love or something to try and make a lot of money. I think that generally it pays to go with what you love. I think that it's very hard to find people when they get to be my age who say that they've loved what they've done all their life and feel it was very worthwhile, but they're terribly sad they made that choice because they didn't make a lot of money. I don't think anybody's ever said that to me, that they wish they'd gone into something else where they were uncomfortable doing it or didn't enjoy it, didn't feel very productive, but made a lot of money. So I don't think you'll find that. So I would go to work. I would go to work in whatever turns you on. It may turn out that it'll be more profitable than you can think, but almost everybody here will make enough money, unless they get some terrible habits along the way, to do reasonably well. And doing reasonably well in this country really is pretty darn good. I mean, it's not necessary to have huge amounts of money in order to enjoy yourself. I enjoyed myself when I had my $10,000, and I live in the same house that I lived in when I had about that. I bought it 41 years ago. I liked the house then. I like the house now. I mean, if you think about it, if you have a reasonable job, you'll be eating at McDonald's and I'll be eating at McDonald's. So we're to push on food. I mean, in fact, I hope it's Dairy Queen, actually, and and if you come to Dairy Queen, you'll see me. And you can order anything on the menu I can order, and we both can afford it. You'll wear the same clothes I wear. I'll pay more for my suits, but as soon as I put them on, they look cheap on me. So we'll look about the same. we'll both live in the same kind of houses. I live in that house from 41 years ago, and it's warm in winter and it's cool in summer and it's comfortable. And you'll live in a house that's similar. And what difference does it make if you have 50 more rooms or guest houses or all that? It'll probably just bring you problems. I mean, you have to worry about the greenskeeper or something when you get through. So I have been in the houses of people where the houses are worth probably 200 times what my house is worth, and I would not be any happier in those houses at all. In fact, I'd be less happy. I just have one more thing to worry about, and the dozens of people around the place, and people quitting, and people stealing from you, and all kinds of things. To hell with it. We'll drive the same kind of car. In fact, you'll probably drive a better car. I drive a car that's about 8 years old. I don't know what it's worth now, but it gets me around fine. I mean, I'm perfectly happy. We'll watch the same television. We'll work on the same computer pretty much. The only difference will be how we travel long distances. I will fly in a plane that's more comfortable than flying Southwest Airlines or something, which I've got nothing against. But that's the one real big difference. And other than that, I do what I like every day. I hope you'll do what you like every day to do. And I work with nice people. I hope you work with nice people. And there's 24 hours in the day, and those are where the hours go. So great wealth is the tiniest bit different in a real sense than having just a decent income. And to trade a decent income and something you love doing and something where you feel worthwhile doing it for huge wealth where you trade off a lot of your principles would be a terrible mistake.
The number one rule for success is you have to love what you do. Guys, I have studied how many videos have I made? Over 10,000 videos, over 12 years of studying the most successful people on the planet, entrepreneurs, inventors, artists, athletes, actors, across every field, the top of the top of the top players. That's who I've featured. That's who I've studied. That's what I've shared with you over the past decade plus. And the number one rule that comes up over and over and over and over and over again is you have to love what you do. You have to love what you do. If you are chasing something because you think it's going to bring financial opportunity for you, but you don't love it, you will always lose because you're going up against people who love what they do. Take the person who just is doing it as a strategy versus the person who loves it. Who's going to win? The person who loves it is going to work way harder than you, is going to be way more into it because it's their life, because it gives them oxygen, because they love it. And for you, you're just trying to make a buck. You're always going to lose. You're going to end up hating your life. And for anything to be successful, you have to think, hey, can I do this for 10 years? Would I do this for 20 years? Am I obsessed with this thing? Yes? Great. Go for it. No? Move on. At the same token, you have to find a way to make money. Because making money is really important too. Making money has to be in your top 5 list of priorities. It just can't be number 1. Number 1 is you have to love the thing. But making money is super important. If you're an entrepreneur and you're not making money, you're not an entrepreneur. So a lot of people, they do what they love, but they never figure out how to turn it into a business, into income. And so then you've got yourself a hobby. And the hobby might be really fulfilling, but it's just a hobby. If you can't bring value to other people, then you've got yourself a purposeful hobby, but not a business. So the trick then, people fall into one of these two camps, like, okay, I love what I do, but I don't make any money, or I make money, but I don't love what I do. The trick is to combine them. This is where your ultimate success will happen, is what do you love doing? You love doing, and then how can you use that to bring value to other people? In that intersection is your $1 million idea. I had a guy DM me yesterday on Instagram saying, how do I combine my love of music and film? And already I love that he's thinking combination, because the secret is the and. People usually go, or, how do I do this or this? Like, no. The answer is and. How do you be the first to do this and this? Now, there's a lot of people who do music and film. So my advice back to him was add a third thing in. What else do you love that you can then add that third thing in? So maybe you love sports. Maybe you love personal development. Maybe you love cooking. Maybe you love training. Like, what do you love? What's the third thing that when you can combine music and film and this third thing, now you start to be different. Now you start to be unique. Now you start to be the only one, the one who can lead the path on these things, because you actually love all three of those things. All of us have these things. Think about it for you. What are the interests that you have that you could dive deep on, that you love, that doesn't feel like work, that researching and planning and creating does not feel like work? It does not feel like you have a job. You get lost in it. But there are three separate things, or two separate things, or four separate things. Recognize that your genius is going to be in combining those things together into one business, and then figuring out how can you bring value to other people. So if we had to step this out, step one, make a list. What are the things that you love doing? What are the things that you could get lost in, that time seems to fly by? So if I look at me, I love entrepreneurship. I love studying entrepreneurship. I love watching videos of people like Warren Buffett and Jack Ma and Elon Musk and Oprah Winfrey. I can get lost watching those videos. I love helping entrepreneurs. I love sitting in the lobby of an event and just helping entrepreneurs for hours. I forget to eat, I forget to pee, I forget to take care of myself. It's like, and then 6 hours have gone by and I'm still in the lobby helping people. Like, I could get lost in it. Where for other people it's a strategy, I actually love that stuff. I love League of Legends. I love League of Legends. I've made some investments in the esports community. I now love Minecraft because my son got me into it. We play together, and I have a live stream where I'm answering business questions while playing Minecraft and or League of Legends. So these are lists of different things that are unique to me. So make the list of things that are unique to you. What could you get lost in? What could you spend hours on and it feels like it's only been 20 minutes? Like, what? Is it time to go already? Versus the other things, you know, for me, accounting, 20 minutes feels like 5 hours. Right? It's like, okay, great. So that should not be what I'm working on. But maybe it is for you. Maybe you love accounting. Maybe you love getting lost in those numbers and details. So step number one is figure out what are all the things that you get lost in. And you have to come up with a couple. Don't just have one thing. Multiple things that you love getting lost in. Two, now you think about how can you combine those things together. This is where it requires a little bit of creativity, a little bit of resourcefulness, a little bit of stepping outside the box because it hasn't been done before. Or maybe it hasn't been done in a good way before, not the way that you can do it. So we're trying to create something new. This is going to be your art. We're birthing something new into the world that hasn't existed before, right? So it's not cookie cutter anymore. This is how you're going to be unique and stand out. It's going to be your magical gift. So how can you combine those two things, three things, four things in a way that hasn't been done before? And then three, we start to think about, okay, how can that now start to bring value to other people? Inside of these things that you love doing together, combined, how can it help other people? And what I'd strongly encourage you to do is think about what is the fastest path to start making money inside of what you're doing. A lot of times what we do with our big dreams, our big goals, our big vision is it's so big, it's so change the world, it's so future focused, which is amazing, it's motivated, inspiring, the world you want to create, I love it. And you need to feed yourself this month. You know, you got to pay the internet bills. You got a mortgage or a rent that you have to take care of. And so inside of now your big vision for what you want to create, what's the fastest path to start making money? Not go make money doing something else that you hate so that you can fund your dream, but inside your dream, what's the fastest path for you to start to make money? So for example, coaching is usually a great one. For people who want to write books or speak or, you know, be on stages, create lots of content, YouTube is a long game. Speaking and getting paid to be a speaker is a really long game. Having a book is a long game. A lot of these are big projects that take a long time to happen. So how do you fund yourself while you're working on those projects? Instead of having some job that you hate, an easy way is coaching. Coaching inside the thing that you want to do. Coaching inside the area that you want to help people with. You know, I see your purpose comes from your pain. So whatever you struggled with is the thing you want to help other people with. So inside what you've come through, how can you trade your time for money, get paid inside the thing you want to be great at, learn, build momentum, get some customers, and then that can transition to your speaking, to your books, to your courses, to the bigger vision of what you want to create for yourself. So you have to, one, make that list of all the things that you love that make you come alive. Two, think about how can you combine them in a way that hasn't been done before. And then three, start to think inside of that, how can I start to get paid so that I can start to live the life I want, start to build towards the vision that you've got for yourself, be able to quit your job and go full time on your business. That huge vision that you've got for yourself and where you want to go, and then squish it down to what's the micro action you can take today to start making money inside your business. I've studied so many people. If you don't believe me, go watch all the content over the 12 years of me being on YouTube. And before YouTube, another, I don't know how many years I had doing my website. I had 100,000 pages of content on my website, again, showcasing entrepreneurship. The number one thing consistently over the years, over every industry, that successful people say you need to have is a love for the thing that you're doing. You start with the love of the craft, and then you figure out how to make money in the process of doing it. It leads you to having a happy life, a fulfilled life, and a financially secure one as well. Now I've got
So let's say you have to read an incredibly long email from your boss that you have to finish before the big
Now I've got a special bonus clip that I think you're gonna enjoy. But before that, it's time for the question of the day. I wanna know, what was your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week? When you watch a video and just get motivated, you have a 35% chance of actually following through. That's what the science says. And that is not good enough, Believe Nation. We need to do better. When you actually get motivated and then create a specific plan of action for what you're gonna do this week, you have a 91% chance of following through. And when you publicly commit to somebody else, like leaving a comment below on this video, it jumps even higher. So I want that for you. I want to know your single biggest takeaway from this video and your plan of action for the next week so I can celebrate with you. Also, if you want to have more self-confidence and self-belief, the science says it can take up to 254 days of consecutive action for you to build a habit. So I've created a special free program to help you where every day for 254 days, I will send you an email that has a link to an unlisted video that if you watch it will boost your confidence forward. The link to join for free is in the description below.
If I ever write a book, it's going to be called Why Smart People Do Dumb Things. My partner says it should be autobiographical. If you ask me to write a story on what is Potomac Electric Power worth or something like that, I can write the story, and that's what I'm doing every day. I'm assigning myself a story, and then I go out and... If I give them a whole bunch of money, and they love the money, and they don't love the business, no matter what they tell me, 6 months from now, they'll be gone. I would encourage you, if you're interested in the field,
foremost, back straight, eyes closed, breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Feeling that power you have, your determination to control your breathing. The same way you can take control of your mind, anywhere you are, whatever you're doing. Let's use that same power, that same determination to see in our mind the image, the visions that we want to create today in our lives. Let's see ourselves doing the best we can on all of the stretches and exercises we do together here and now. Let's use that power we have, our true being, our presence, our determination to see in our mind right now, go into the future. Think about what you want to make real. Bring it to the present. And that music goes off. All right, good morning, determination. How's everyone doing today? Another beautiful day here, outdoors. If you're indoors, wherever you are, let's go everybody, here we go. Another wonderful moment together. Another great day in the gym of life. Gym of life never ends. So here we go. We're going to start, when I say go, we're going to start jogging on the spot, doing the best jog we can, best jog we've ever done. Or we can simply walk on the spot. So depending on how much space you have, you should be able to do this within the space that we have. So here we go. Ready everybody? When I say go, your best jog ever. Ready? And go. Still focused on our breathing. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Feeling the joy of you commanding your body. Remember, you're the boss of your mind. Your mind is the boss of your body. Almost there. Let's go, everybody. Keep going. The power of our heart starting to beat a little bit faster. Our breathing becoming a little bit more difficult. But feel our power still controlling our breathing. And stop. All right, back to our best walk, either side to side, or simply walking on the spot. But focused on our breathing, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Oh wow, what a day. What another pristine, perfect day. Enjoy every moment, wherever you are, enjoy this. Enjoy your power, your gift, to always work on your mind and your body. Always in the gym of life. Okay everybody, let's start with our 10 shoulder rolls forward. Here we go, ready? And go. Feel the joy of you rolling your shoulders forward, being able to do that. And backwards, all the way up and around, as high as you can towards your ears, all the way around. Let's do 10. And stop. Let's do arm circles forward. Big arm circles. 10 forward. Alright, now let's go backwards. Again, just feel the joy of you controlling your body to move through space. All through the power and control of your own determination. Alright, good work everybody. Hands on your hips, bend your knees and side stretch. 5 on each side. Alright, and let's do twists. Again, 5 on each side, feet flat on the floor. Really think about what you're doing. Really enjoy being in this moment, here, right now. The power of your presence. Alright, everyone, and let's reach for the ceiling on our toes or reach for the sky, wherever you are. Here we go. Holding it for 10 seconds. Right, and now reach for your toes, straight knees. Again, feel the joy, the striving. Reaching for your toes, even if you can't touch them yet. Always yet. Work all the time. Very good, and come on back up. Okay, let's work on our balance. Grab one leg and find your balance. Bend the other knee if you have to. Hold it for 10. Pull that leg back. Feel the power of you finding your balance in this moment. Hold it there. And switch to the leg. And bend that knee. And you've got roots going under your feet, going through the ground. You're immovable. See it. Excellent. All right, and let's hug our knee this time. Bend the other knee if you have to. Big hug. And find that balance again. Hold it for 10 seconds. Lose your balance, you get it right back. Look at your mind controlling your body. Feel you controlling your mind. Right. And switch to the side. Have balance, bend that knee and bring that leg up all the way up. Excellent, everyone. Let's do 5 push-ups together. Here we go. That's 5 push-ups. If you got to keep your knees down, go ahead. Whatever you do your best. 5 sit-ups. What a moment. All right, and let's do 5 squats. Our best 5 squats. Here we go. Flat on the floor, looking straight ahead, bending the knees all the way down, all the way up. All right, let's do lunges now. 3 on each side. Best lunges. Turn that back straight if we can, looking straight ahead. Excellent. All right, let's do 10-second plank. Belly's knees off the ground. Always thinking about our breathing. Bringing ourselves back to our presence, our being. Okay, and let's sit down and reach for our toes, everybody. Here we go. Ready? Straight knees or reaching for your toes. Do the best we can. Always working on motivating our mind. Because we know our bodies will follow. And V shape with our legs, reaching for the floor as far away from our body as we can. Holding it there. And reach for one side, hold it there. Again, feel the joy of reaching, striving, doing your best. Even if you aren't able to reach where you want to be here. And switch to the other side. Feel the power of you winning right now. Control of your mind. All right, and let's put our feet together and gently push our knees down with our elbows. Here we go. Hold it there for 10. Feel the power of infinite intelligence in you, me, and all of us right now. Okay, one leg forward, one leg back. Go as far back as you can. Keep that knee on the ground. Put that knee down. Make sure you're not hurting yourself. You should just feel it pull, not any pain. Okay, and switch the other side. Alright, and let's roll onto our belly and push the ground or the floor and look up at the ceiling or the sky, wherever we are. Here we go, cobra stretch. Hold it there for 10. Feel the power of your being right here, right now. Okay, and legs crossed again, back straight, eyes closed. Breathing in through our noses and out through our mouths. Here we go. Going into the future, into our imagination right now. Seeing what we want to do our best on today when that music goes on. For me, I'm going to be working on 2 exercises. One is lunges, as many lunges as I can do within the first song. And the second song, as many sit-ups as I can do until that song's over. So what about you? See it in your mind right now. You can play 2 of your own songs. You can listen to the songs I have. But choose your own exercises. If you don't like the ones I'm doing, it doesn't matter. Whatever you're doing, whatever you want to do, whatever movement you want to do safely and effectively, see it in your mind right now before you bring it out into the world. You've got determination. You were born to win. To bring out all your visions, all your positive visions of yourself, of people, of the world. The way we do our best on these exercises when that music goes on is an expression, a reflection of the way we do our best at everything in the gym of life. Here we go, determination, lunges for me. You can fall if you want, or you can do whatever it is you want to do, your squats, sit-ups, a dance movement, jumping jacks, whatever exercise you want to do. Here I go, ready? All the time, trying to maintain good technique, good form. Best we can, always. Just feeling the joy, moving our bodies, doing our best. That's winning. We're born to do that, no matter what. It's like to put the arms up too, instead of just forward to the side. Change it up. Whatever you're doing right now, keep going. Remember your breathing. Don't forget your breathing. I love it. This is the best. This moment is the best. Wherever you are, wherever you go, you get to always work on being your best at whatever you're doing. And that starts with our determination. Controlling our mind. No matter what. No matter how tired, how much discomfort we feel.
Mobile just sent me this solar wireless battery.
Get rid of that commercial for a second.
I really like the build. It's got handgrips on the side. It's sharp.
And we'll keep going. Keep going. We don't let anything stop us. Until that song's over. Every moment counts. You're doing lunges with me right now. I'm proud of you. You're up. Keep going. As it gets harder, we work. That's how powerful we are. We have that determination, that choice, that winning choice. Keep going. Song's not over. Keep going. Your music, that stuff inside you, for me it's determination, and I know we got it all in all of us. So I use it every day. Let's go. You're using it now. Keep going. Music's still playing. Our music's still going. All right, next song. Proud of my effort. Proud of you. If you haven't given up, keep going. All right, sit up for me. Here we go. Always control your breathing. Bring it back to that. See the fact that you can still control your breathing, even when your body wants to breathe faster, that's more proof of your determination. You got it in you all the time, no matter what. You can apply this, you can use this energy, whatever you're doing, wherever you are. The way you talk, the way you behave, the way you read, write, the way you're kind and loving, use determination. Use your power to be positive and never give up. Just like we're doing right now, on these exercises, on these sit-ups. We're not giving up, no matter how hard it's getting. See, we know the truth. If we do it as easy, we give up. Our life will be hard. But if we do what is hard, and never give up, our life will be easy. So we gotta remember that all the time. That's the power of our determination. Controlling our mind. Motivating the mind so the body will follow. Keep going, determination. I'm so proud of you wherever you are. Because you are who you are. Striving to be better all the time. You are infinite intelligence. We are double I. Infinitely intelligent. Powerful beyond measure. lose, we determine and win. Still with me? Keep going. I love you. So proud of you. Keep going. Even if you stop. Get back up at it again. Keep going. This is the way you're gonna live. Even if you stop, even if you get tired, even if you make mistakes, you're gonna learn. You're gonna get information. And you're gonna eventually win. How powerful you are. That's why I love you and all of us. No matter what. Oh, long song. That's okay. That's good. Love it. Keep going. Our body will rest and recover. Almost there. Keep going, everybody. Keep going. Oh, well done. So proud of you. Feel that? Feel that power, that oneness of us controlling our breathing and our minds? Right here, right now, no matter how hard our movements, exercises were today, no matter how much our body tried to take control of our minds, feel that? That's you. The real you. That's our consciousness. Our being awake fully. To control our minds. To control our breathing. To control our bodies. To control our lives. It's all possible through the power of you being present, staying in the now, right here, right now, wherever you are, wherever you are. There is no past and future right now. There's only the present, the gift that is you. You, which makes everything else possible. See, right here, right now, is just pure presence, pure happiness, pure winning, pure essence, pure determination of who and what you really are. With this power, this peace, right here in this moment, right now, we can always have all of the mind's health, and even greater, the mind wealth we were built for. I love your determination. Great work today. I'm so proud of you. Wherever you are, take the power of this time we had together, apply it to everything in your life. Doesn't matter whether we're in school, at work, wherever we are. The gym of life never ends. And life is the greatest teacher. That's why I love you and everything and all the infinite intelligence around us. It's life.
It's always here. You're always learning, always growing. I love your determination. Have a great day, week, and life always. Until next time.
Welcome to Best Life 30, your 30-day journey to creating the best life possible for yourself. You can watch just this video, or if you want to sign up for the whole series for free and get the bonus companion worksheets that go along with this video, check out the link in the description below. All right, so today is bonus day number 6, and we're going to learn how to become better investors.
Sports cards are exploding, Jim. I need everybody who's listening right now to really go to StockX and eBay and see what's going on. I've been investing in sports cards for 18 months. Last April and May and June, I bought 50 LeBron rookies, and now they grade them. You send them to a company, they say if it's a perfect 10, a 9, an 8. I bought 50 perfect 10s at $1,050 a piece. Now they're selling for $4,000 a piece.
Wow. Gary, give me a brief primer. Not knowing a lot about this, if I want to dip my toe in,
eBay,
big swing, what do I do?
You go to Google and you search sports cards, you know, why are sports cards going up? Like you type in questions on Google, then you go to eBay completed items and you type in athletes, Lamar Jackson rookie card, and you hit search, and then you hit completed items, and you can see for the last 2-3 months how much they've gone for. Let me give you the comp there. I wanted to do it and I sucked. I made a huge mistake. I didn't take action because I liked Lamar's game. I didn't think he was going to do what he did this year. But Lamar rookies in perfect 10s were $35 going into the season. Now they're $300. Last year I did it with Giannis. I bought them at $180. They're at $800 now. So you go to eBay and StockX and you look at the prices and you look at completed auctions, and that gives you spend 4 to 10 hours on that, looking up athletes. Most of the cards your listeners and I grew up with aren't worth anything because it was during the junk wax era where they made 1 million of these. Now they make limited numbers of them, and the vintage graded stuff is going great. But there's 3 reasons. 45-year-olds are now have 7-year-olds, so they're reliving their childhood. Gambling. You can buy a $200 pack of cards right now. That's how much they can be now, Jim. $200 for 1 pack, but you can pull $150,000 Luka or Zion. So gambling. And then finally, you know, sports cards have a lot more volume than sneakers. So we have an entire generation of teenagers who are now in their 20s that grew up flipping Yeezys and Jordans, who now, if they think that Lamar Jackson's gonna be the guy, they go out and buy 500, 2,000, 4,000 Lamar rookies and make $100,000 in 9 months.
There's a lot of talk about control in the book. What is the one thing that you want people to understand about control? And they feel out of control, they feel they don't understand the stock market. Like, what's the one message you want people to take home around control?
I think it's that you have to become an owner and not just a consumer. You have to take a percentage of what you earn, as simplistic as it sounds, and automate it so it comes off the top of what you earn. There's a gentleman that worked for UPS. His name's Theodore, and Theodore Robinson was this guy who never made more than $14,000 a year, and yet he retired with $70 million and gave away $35 million while he was alive. How did he do it? He became an owner. His best friend said to him, listen to me, the most important thing in your life is we're going to put a wealth tax on you. He goes, wealth tax? I make $14,000 a year. He goes, we're going to make you wealthy with this tax. It's not a government tax. It's tax for yourself. So we're going to take 20% of what you earn and put it in an investment account, let it build up. He said, I can't afford that. He goes, once it's automated, you won't notice. That's all he did that made him $70 million. So it's like, people have to understand that no matter how good you are in business, we all need a second business with no employees, and it takes very little time. Something that once you do your homework should take you, 15 minutes to an hour twice a year to rebalance perhaps.
What would you tell the startup entrepreneur who maybe is just getting started or maybe still has a full-time job, and it feels like every dollar that they're making, they're just trying to build their business at the moment, they haven't cashed out yet? Should they be investing into their business? Should they still be saving some and put into the market? What would you tell that person?
I think you have to put something outside your business, because what's the number one rule of investing that even idiots understand? Don't pull all your eggs in one basket, right? And what do 90% of entrepreneurs do? Because of the illusion of control, they go, I'm going to put all my money in my business. Don't get me wrong. It's still a great place for your money and for your time and for your energy. But you got to take a piece of what you earn and you got to bet on some other entrepreneurs and get outside yourself specifically. And if you look at somebody like Warren Buffett will tell you, look, he said, all my wealth is a result of a couple things, some good genes and compound interest and living in America. So if all you do is get compound interest on your side, the game changes. If you take a 19-year-old kid who's got a little job and you say, look, I want you, it sounds like a lot, but I want you to put aside $300 a month. But let me show you why. $300 a month set aside, thrown in the market. Average market return's been 8%. It's been 10% over 100 years, but most recent, 30 years, 8%. So let's say you get the average return and it compounds. That kid who starts at 19 with $300 a month can stop at 27. He's only done it for 8 years, never put another dime in. And he's only put in $28,000, but that'll grow to 1.8 million without putting another dime in. That's the power of compounding. 28 grand, 1.8 million. If his best friend starts at 27 when he quits and invests every single year all the way to 65, and he puts in the same $300 a month, he puts in 140 grand, and at the end of that time, he's got $400,000 less money. So it's not the amount of money, it's the amount of time. Time is your greatest friend here. And if you get in the game, you're going to win. And you need to get in the game now, not wait till your business is successful.
I'm big on diversification.
You're very big on diversification.
Like, knowing how to diversify well is more important than almost anything. People don't understand this.
Is that an evergreen principle, you think?
Yes, that's an evergreen principle.
Interesting.
And the reason I'm saying that, the way it is, it's almost like a casino making its money. Okay. The way that you do it is you get an edge. So now when you have to make a bet, I've got to bet against the whole world. The world has a view on something is reflected in the price. So when I think something is attractive or unattractive, that means I have to bet against the whole world and whether that's right or not. That's difficult. I get it right, more often than I get it wrong, but I'm going to get it wrong sometimes. And so when you can take a lot of different bets, what you can do is, like the casino, you'll get your average that your bet would be, but you'll reduce your risk of one of those tables not being the table that's paying off. And so that margin, so I can reduce my risk without reducing my return by knowing how to diversify. And I'd say that's particularly important for the people who are listening, your investors. Because what they've got to
reduce risk without reducing return.
That's right.
That's the specialty.
That's right.
Elaborate a little bit more if you don't mind on that. So reducing risk without reducing the return, because a lot of times if I'm reducing the risk, it means my return's also going lower. But you're saying no, we're reducing it without even reducing the return.
Right.
I mean, that's a high-paying skill set to have.
It's the most important thing that you could start off doing. If you have a number of equally good likely bets, but they're uncorrelated, like the casino. One table is going to make me a margin like this, but take another table and it makes me a margin like this, but I might have volatility about those. Let me take all those investments that I think will make 10%, so that's my return, but they're uncorrelated with each other. That means I'll still get the 10. I don't lower my 10, but my diversification means I lower my risk. So I improve my return to risk ratio.
Is that an art that you can teach?
Oh, yeah. I wrote about it there's what I call a section in this book, the Holy Grail of Investing. It's 3 pages long. And it explains basically this important thing. Because when that epiphany happened to me and how I would do it, it changed everything by being able to do that. Because
how old were you when you figured that out?
I can improve through diversification. I can improve my return to risk ratio by a factor of 5. So by diversifying, the return relative to the risk, I can keep my returns the same and reduce my risk to 1/5 if I know how to diversify well. And that's why I'm explaining it. It's not all that complicated. It's simply explained in the book. But in any case, that is the holy grail of investing, That's a big thing. If you start to know that that's what you're going for, it changes everything. And it's so important for the average person who's listening. And let me explain why that is. Because the average person who's listening, too many people, think that they can go into this very difficult zero-sum game of betting against the consensus and be right. You know what I mean? In other words, investor says, I'm going to go in the markets, I'm going to make money.
Betting against the consensus and be right.
Right, because the consensus is built into the price.
Okay.
Okay? That's what's the, so think of it as like going to a horse race and there's handicaps. Okay? You're not going to pick the best horse and you're not going to pick the best company. A terrible company can be a better investment than a terrific company. A terrible company could be a better investment, just like the terrible horse can be a better investment, because the odds that are changing, like you go into that and that becomes the long shot. But because the long shot is going to pay off 25-1, right? If he comes in, that you could just as likely bet on the long shot as the leader, and it's going to be equally likely that you're going to make money, right? Otherwise the market would be doing the opposite. Well, the market is like that, right? In other words, if everybody believes that something's going to be terrific, okay, then everybody's betting on it, and its price is high. So it's not what's best necessarily. It's what's best relative to what's in the price, what's discounted. In order for you to win in the game, like you're going to go in and pick what's a good investment, you are playing against others. You have to realize that, because it's all in the odds. It's like when you go to the track, you're going to have to play against the handicappers, okay? So it is very difficult for you to beat me or to beat others who are putting 1,500 people and hundreds of millions of dollars into how to win in that game, right? And there's a lot of people, and I find it challenging. I find it difficult. So it's difficult to win in that game. It's difficult to win in that game individually by placing the bets. It's difficult to win in that game. It's more difficult to succeed in the markets than it is to succeed in the Olympics. Okay, but people don't realize that. They think I'm going to go have an opinion.
Sure.
Okay, but there are more people trying to do it in the markets than are trying to do it in the Olympics. And so nobody would say, I'm going to run and compete in the Olympics. When you realize how difficult that is, okay, but you can diversify well. Anybody could diversify well. So if we look at what the world will be like in 5 years or 3 years or 1 year, okay, like we're coming in the presidential election, we have all these things going on. Okay, you want to bet on it? Okay, wise guy, give it a shot.
That's what you're doing.
Is that easy?
That's what you're doing.
Okay, well, the only way I can do it is I need to diversify my bets well. I wouldn't want to concentrate on any one of those.
So you're not.
And I try I'll take, like the casino. I'll take that bet, and I'll take this bet, and I'll take a bunch of those bets. But for you as the average investor, you're probably not going to even be able to pick which horse has got the edge relative to the handicappers, okay? And so diversification, that is the thing that I would say, particularly for anybody, it is the most important thing. It's if you know how to do that well. So that's why I'm saying, you know, that page, those couple of pages here was something I wanted to pass along to people.
You'll see a lot of people will say that's a boring formula or it's an outdated. You know, you'll be in the industry and say, oh, this whole diversification is a boring formula, it's outdated, et cetera, et cetera.
I'm just trying to say, I went from nothing. You asked me, okay? My dad's a jazz musician, middle class or low middle class family. I had nothing other than parents who cared for me, and I could go to a good public school. And that was the only thing I had. And if I took that and I say, okay, here I am with the things that has happened over the markets and making money and building a business and so on, there are a limited number of principles that I want to pass along to people, because I think if they can get those principles, that would be extremely valuable. And this is not boring. So when I come back and you say, okay, that arc in life was not boring, that was a very successful and exciting arc in life, and this is one of those principles. So if you take diversifying well, how to diversify well, please go understand that principle. It's only a couple of pages. Please go understand that principle, because when you have savings and you think, how much money do I need for my kids' education or my retirement or whatever it is and so on. And if you don't know how to do this well, you're risking a lot. And if you do it well and so on, it produces an enormous amount of opportunity.
What's the value of a stock
Denzel Beats. Denzel Beats.